Hello students, this is the third part of our chapter gravitation. In this part, we will discuss about what is the gravity, what is free fall and acceleration due to gravity. But before going in detail with this part, let me recall you some concepts from our previous parts. In our previous parts, we have learnt about what is the gravitational force. The gravitational force is the force of attraction between every two objects in the universe. In the same way, you also know that whenever an object is dropped from a certain height, then it starts coming towards the earth. Why it starts coming towards the earth? Because of the gravitational pull of the earth, or you can say gravitational force of the earth. This gravitational force of the earth is commonly known by a name gravity. So let us start with gravity. So students, gravity is the gravitational force of the earth. It is defined as the gravitational force exerted by the earth on the objects situated on its surface or near it. As from this figure you can see that there is an object of mass small m which is situated on the surface of the earth of mass capital M. Hence here we can say the force of attraction between this object and the earth is the force of gravity. Now we will derive an expression for the force of gravity. According to universal law of gravitation, you know that the force of attraction between two objects of mass m1 and m2 which are separated by distance small r is given by capital G m1 m2 divided by r square, where m1 and m2 are the masses of the two objects which are separated by a distance small r. But here in this case you can see that the two objects are the earth of mass capital M and the object which is situated on the surface of the earth or near it, that is of mass small m. So here in this equation we can replace the mass m1 by mass of the earth, that is capital M, and the mass m2 by mass of the object, that is small m. Again in this case you can see that the distance between the center of the earth and the object is equal to capital R, that is radius of the earth. So here in this equation we can replace small r by radius of the earth, that is capital R. Now let us substitute all these values in this equation and find the expression for the force of gravity. So after putting the values, what we get, capital F, that is the force of gravity, equals to capital G capital M into small m divided by capital R square. So this is the required expression for the force of gravity, in which capital G is the universal gravitational constant whose value is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square, which is constant at every place. And capital M is the mass of the earth, small m is the mass of the object which is placed on the surface of the earth or near it, and capital R is the radius of the earth. As the gravity is a force, then it must has an direction. So the direction of the force of gravity is along vertically downward direction. Now let us understand free fall and acceleration due to gravity. So what is free fall? Whenever objects fall towards the earth under the force of gravity alone, then the objects are said to be in a state of free fall. Let us understand this situation. Suppose in this situation, the stone is falling freely. Falling freely means there is only one force, that is the force of gravity, which is acting on this stone. From this example, it is clear that as soon as the stone is left from a certain height, then at 0 second, it has a 0 meter per second of velocity. After 1 second, it attains a velocity of 9.8 meter per second. In 2 seconds, it attains a velocity of 19.6 meter per second. And in the same way, in 5 seconds, it attains a velocity of 49.0 meter per second. It means every second the velocity is increasing. But students, again here you can see that the direction of motion at every instant is vertically downward. It is not changing. Direction of motion remains constant. So from this example, it is clear that the magnitude of the velocity is changing, but the direction of the velocity is constant. And you know, velocity is a vector quantity. Vector quantity means it has both magnitude as well as direction. So velocity can be changed if either the magnitude is going to change, either its direction is changing, or both the magnitude as well as direction is changing. Here in this case, you can see that the magnitude is changing, but the direction remains constant. But due to change in magnitude, we can say the velocity is changing. Okay? And you know, acceleration is defined as rate of change of velocity. Whenever there is a change in velocity, then there must be an acceleration. So from this example of free fall, it is clear that the direction of motion is every time vertically downward. That is, remains constant. But due to change in magnitude of velocity, there is an acceleration. Hence, we can say during a free fall, the direction of motion remains unchanged, but due to continuously change in magnitude of velocity, there is an acceleration. And again, students, this is the case of free fall. Free fall means there is only one force acting, that is the force of gravity. So here, acceleration is produced because of the force of gravity. Hence, we can say as the acceleration of the freely falling object is due to force of gravity, hence it is known as acceleration due to gravity. And this acceleration due to gravity is denoted by small g. And since it is an acceleration, hence its SI unit is meter per second square. Now let us derive an expression for acceleration due to gravity, small g. Here in this figure, you can see that there is an object of mass, small m, which is situated just near the surface of the earth. It means there is a force of gravity acting on this object. And we know the force of gravity acting on an object of mass m just near the surface of the earth is given as capital F equals to capital G, capital M into small m divided by capital R square, where capital M is the mass of the earth, small m is the mass of the object, and capital R is the radius of the earth. Again, from Newton's second law of motion, you know that force of gravity on an object must be equal to product of mass of the object and acceleration due to gravity. It means with the help of Newton's second law of motion, we can find the force of gravity acting on this object as product of mass, that is m, and acceleration due to gravity g. So we can write capital F equals to mg with the help of Newton's second law of motion. Let us say this is equation number 2. Since this equation 1 and the equation 2, both these equations represent the same force, that is force of gravity. Hence, we can equate these two equations. So let us equate these two equations. So from these two equations, what we have, mg is equals to capital G into capital M into small m divided by capital R square. From this equation, small m will cancel out from both sides. Then what we get? Small g is equals to capital G into capital M divided by capital R square. So this is the required expression for acceleration due to gravity. From this expression, it is clear that there is only the mass of the earth and radius of the earth. There is no mass of the object which is falling freely. So with the help of this expression, what we can say, acceleration due to gravity g depends on mass and radius of the earth, but is independent of mass of the falling object. Okay. Again, With the help of this equation, we can say either the object is small or big, hollow or solid, light or heavy, all the object must fall at the same rate because acceleration due to gravity is independent of mass of the falling object. But is it practically possible that all the types of object, either they are heavy or light, big or small, they fall at the same rate? Let us understand it with the help of some practical examples. Suppose you are dropping a sheet of paper and a stone piece. Then what you observe? You observe that the paper sheet reaches the ground a little later than the stone piece because of the air resistance. The resistance offered by air to the paper is more than the resistance offered to the stone. That's why the paper sheet reaches the ground little later than the stone piece. It means because of the presence of other force like air resistance than the force of gravity, both the paper sheet and stone piece will not reach the ground at the same time. But in the absence of such forces like air resistance, both the paper sheet and stone piece will reach at the same time. Boyle also performed an experiment to clarify the motion of all freely falling objects is identical. In this experiment, he used a feather and a coin. So here you can see that this is the feather and this is the coin. In the presence of air, what happened? The coin moves faster than the feather. It means the coin reaches the bottom earlier than the feather because of the air resistance. But in vacuum, there is no air. It means there is no air resistance. So there is only one force, that is force of gravity acting on the feather and coin. That's why here you can see that both the feather and coin are moving simultaneously and hence they will reach the bottom at the same time. So from this experiment, it is clear that motion of all freely falling object is identical provided that no other force except that of gravity like air resistance is present. Calculation of value of acceleration due to gravity small g on the surface of the earth. The acceleration due to gravity is given by small g is equals to capital G into capital M divided by capital R square, where capital G is the universal gravitational constant, capital M is mass of the earth, and capital R is radius of the earth. So in order to calculate the value of G on the surface of the earth, let us substitute the values of capital G, capital M and capital R in this equation. So we have the mass of the earth, that is capital M, equals to 6.0 into 10 to the power 24 kilogram. Radius of earth is 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter. And you know universal gravitational constant capital G equals to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kilogram square. Now let us substitute all these values in the above equation. Then what we get? Small g equals to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 into 6.0 into 10 to the power 24 divided by square of 6.4 into 10 to the power 6. After calculating all this value, what we get? 9.81 meter per second square, or we can say 9.8 meter per second square. So 9.8 meter per second square, this is the value of acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth. In spite of this, there are some factors which affect the value of G, which we study in detail further. Now let us see variation of acceleration due to gravity small g. So we know that small g is given by capital G into capital M divided by capital R square, where capital G is the universal gravitational constant, capital M is the mass of the earth, and capital R is the radius of the earth. Again, you know that capital G is universal gravitational constant. It means in the whole universe its value is constant. Mass of the earth, capital M, is also constant. So the value of acceleration due to gravity depends on the radius of the earth. Depending on the radius of the earth, we can say there are three factors which affect the value of acceleration due to gravity. These factors are: first, shape of the earth; second, height or altitude; and the third is depth, which we study in detail one by one. Now first let us understand how the shape of the earth affects the value of acceleration due to gravity, small g. So in this figure you can see that this is the shape of the earth. Our earth is not a perfect sphere. The shape of the earth is oblate spheroid. It means it is flattened at the poles and bulges out at the equator. This is the pole and this is the equator. So from this figure you can see that the earth is flattened at the poles and bulges out at the equator. Now this is the center, and the distance from the center to the pole is known as polar radius. Here you can see the polar radius is represented by Rp, and the distance from the center to the equator is known as equatorial radius, which is represented by Re. The difference between the equatorial radius and polar radius is 21 km. It means equatorial radius Re of the earth is about 21 km greater than polar radius Rp. Now let us understand how the value of g is affected by shape of the earth. You know the value of g is given by capital G into capital M divided by capital R square, where capital G and capital M are constant. Hence we can say small g is proportional to 1 upon R square. That is, there is inverse relationship between small g and radius of the earth. This relationship means that when the radius of earth decrease, then small g will increase, and when the radius of the earth will increase, then the value of small g will decrease. So here in this figure you can see that radius of earth is maximum at the equator. Maximum at the equator. That's why the value of g is minimum at the equator. And the radius of the earth is minimum at the poles. This radius is minimum. That's why the value of g is maximum at the poles. So we can say that as we go from equator to pole, the value of g will increase because of decrease in radius of the earth. Now let us understand the effect of altitude on value of g, that is acceleration due to gravity. Since we have to study the effect of altitude on acceleration due to gravity, that's why we have considered a body A of mass m at a height h above the surface of the earth. So let us consider an object of mass m situated at a height h above the surface of the earth. Then distance of the object from the center of the earth will be capital R plus small h. Hence we can say small r is equals to capital R plus h, where capital R is the radius of the earth. Again, you know the force of gravity is given by capital G into capital M into small m divided by small r square. Here in this case small r is equals to capital R plus h, so we can replace small r by capital R plus h. So we have the force of gravity as capital G capital M into small m divided by R plus h whole square. Let us say this is equation number 1. Now again, if we suppose the value of acceleration due to gravity at the height h will be gh, then we can calculate the value of gh by dividing the force capital F by m. Now from this equation 1 you can see when we divide F by m, that is this equation by m, then what we get? Here m and m cancel out. So what we have? We have gh is equals to capital G into capital M divided by R plus h whole square. Let us say this is equation number 2. From this equation 2, it is clear that gh, that is value of g at a height h, is proportional to 1 upon R plus h whole square. It means gh is inversely proportional to r plus h whole square. So we can say as the value of h will increase or as the height will increase, then r plus h will also increase, and if r plus h will increase, then gh will decrease. So from this equation 2, it is clear that value of acceleration due to gravity small g goes on decreasing with increase in altitude h above the surface of the earth. Now let us understand how the depth will affect the value of acceleration due to gravity. So as we go below the surface of the earth, acceleration due to gravity goes on decreasing and becomes 0 at the center of the earth. Here from this figure, it is clear that we have considered a body at a depth d below the surface of the earth. We have considered a body at a depth d. Okay. So the distance of the object from the center of the earth will be r minus t, because this much distance is total r and this is the d. Then the remaining distance is r minus d. So I hope it is clear. The distance from the center of the earth to the object is r minus d. Now the value of acceleration due to gravity at a depth d below the surface of the earth is given as gd is equals to g into 1 minus small d by capital R, where gd is the value of acceleration due to gravity at a depth d, g is the value of acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth, d is the depth, and capital R is the radius of the earth. Let us say this is the equation number 1. At center, what happened? The depth d will be equal to the radius capital R. So we can calculate the value of acceleration due to gravity at the center with the help of this equation 1. In equation 1, when we put small d equals to capital R, then we get the value of g at the center. So we can write g center is equals to small g into 1 minus, in place of small d, we write capital R and then capital R divided by capital R. So here you can see that R and R cancel out each other. So what we have, g into 1 minus 1. So 1 minus 1 is equals to 0. It means value of g at the center will be 0. So thank you students. Till now we have studied how the various factors like shape of earth, altitude and depth affect the value of acceleration due to gravity. In the shape of earth, we have learned that the value of g is maximum at the poles and minimum at the equator. Also, when we go from equator to pole, the value of g will increase. And as we go above the surface of the earth, the value of g will decrease. As we go below the surface of the earth, the value of g will decrease. And at the center of the earth, the value of acceleration due to gravity is 0.